What's up, guys? Devin, Zander here. Welcome to the Product of the Week Club. Now, if you don't know who we are, Matt Schmidt and I. Matt, what's up, bro?
What's happening?
I'm Devin Zander, and we are eight-figure store owners. So we're just doing some good old stuff out here. We figured, how could we repay the community? Hey, why don't we just review products that are winning? We will discuss why they're winning and how they can improve their marketing. And also we'll create ads for it. So it's basically A to Z, why products work, how they could do better, and how people can run ads to these types of products if they want to sell them themselves. So just so you guys know, we basically specialize in print-on-demand products, but we can really work with anything. We've sold everything from gym equipment, nursing stuff, to cat t-shirts. So all good, all good. We're here, baby. And each week we try to review different products. So let's get into it this week. All right. I asked our special group of customers, our incubator customers. That's our private coaching program where we work with stores owners directly, and asked them what they want to see this week. Matt, they said wall art. So I went out, I found one. They started running this in October. It's still getting a lot of engagement on it. So they're still running ads to it. Tons of comments. Pretty cool. It's customized. But let me see. I guess this. So let's just get into it. First thoughts, dude. Can you see the product? Can you even see? There we go.
First thought, the immediate thing I thought of was an interesting name. But
Woo Hops.
Woo Hops. But it made me stop. So I guess that's a good thing, right? Sometimes those interesting words, whatever makes them stop the scroll, I guess, is as long as it's not like detrimental, I guess, is good. End of our. I love canvas art, by the way. I love wall art. I love this is super interesting stuff. Amazing scale that really is probably underserved. I've tried my best in this. We're gonna get more into it because it's just, I mean, imagine like how t-shirts is like, everybody's got a ton of t-shirts, right? I got a whole rack of hats. Love hats. Got hats for occasions, t-shirts for occasions, a lot of workout stuff. But like, there's probably more opportunity for wall art, right?
Yep.
And not only that, but like then you have the seasonality stuff. And so I really love the space. I just wanted to get that out there because anybody that's really looking into what do I do, super high margin, great. Most of it is you're gonna have to ship it from the country that you're in, by the way, because otherwise the shipping is going to be insane. So find a USA-based supplier. Just unbelievable amounts of opportunity, and then like situational stuff. We talk more about like how I know this thing is different from apparel and things like that. But I just wanted to get that out there. I love this space. I want to get more into it. I know the incubator students want to get into this, so we're going to be diving into this for sure. And then if you can do stuff like this, it's almost game over, right? Because
with the customization is
really nice too. I mean, because then now you're talking situational and then individual, like there's an extra bonus. And it's so much value to give to people, right? Like if personalization is value, it's like and by the way, like it used to be impossible when we were starting. Devin, you and I years ago.
Oh yeah.
Now like it's baked into the equation. A lot of these apps and things and the suppliers that you work with be able to do this on the fly. And it just produces that's the best word for it. It produces such value to the individual. It's the same thing with jewelry and like message cards, shirts. If you can really hit it, it will. But like a personalized, like I'm direct. Like the funny thing is, directly behind this camera is my wife and I with Anheuser-Busch Brewery behind us, and it was like a special occasion because it was our wedding photos. And then the brewery is, obviously I'm from St. Louis. It means a lot here, but my dad and her mom both worked there for 30 years and we knew each other through them kind of. And, so it's like, it means a lot. So it's personalized. It has a lot of value, and it's just weird that it's just like right behind this camera when we're talking about this. So that kind of stuff, you bring that down to the name level, you can create that kind of moment for people too. And I think that's great. The design's amazing too. So well done across the board. And then one thing right off the bat, we sell a lot of personalized jewelry, and our incubator students sell a lot too. And when I'm reviewing someone who's trying, almost always they don't make it explicitly clear in the ad. I know it's a weird thing to say, but look how it says custom, I'll go down real quick. Custom name and date. So it's not just about the photo. Like, so there's like sequences of how people will look at this, but that it's making it 100% clear that this right here is what you can customize. And you need to make it almost abundantly clear with this stuff. And then it clicks for people who are not paying too much attention, like, oh man, I can make this my own, right? And that's what you want to do on this personalized stuff.
Yeah, I think something really powerful here too that I want everyone to realize. So a lot of our customers, a lot of people out there are selling shine-on type products. So if you had to pick a product type that was as close as possible to shine-on without actually being shine-on, wall art is just about at the top of that list. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of takeaways from this design that could be applied to shine-on type stuff. Or if you have shine-on stuff that's working really well and you want to go to wall art, this is really good. So a few things here is this would be bought by either a husband or a wife. You know, a lot of the times with shine-on, the issue there is that, you know, it's got a piece of jewelry with it. So the piece of jewelry has to be matched to the correct gender. But here it's like, no, anybody can buy it, and not just the husband or the wife, but actually the kids could buy it. The grandkids, if they're young enough, because we see it's an older couple here, grandkids could buy this for their grandparents or their parents, you know, whatever. A brother could buy it for his sister and her husband, or his brother and his wife, or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So the target market on this is absolutely massive. And then a second part is that right now, I believe they're running this, and we'll get into it, but they're running it as like a Mother's Day product. It's like, I saw something about how it was the perfect Mother's Day product somewhere, right? And it totally makes sense. It is a really good Mother's Day product. But what a lot of people will do is they'll try so hard to make it explicit that, yo, this is a Mother's Day product, right? Mm-hmm. And the issue with that is it takes away from the evergreen aspect of the design. And for those of you who don't know, you should probably get really familiar with the word evergreen. I assume everyone knows it, but it just means that it sells all year round. If you create a Mother's Day design, it'll only sell during Mother's Day.
Yep.
But this could be sold for Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, Christmas, birthdays, anniversaries. Like this goes for anything. And that's like another good point. Why would someone buy this as a gift for a couple? I don't know. It's their 10-year anniversary and their kids want to get them a gift, right? Like I guess the kids during a 10-year anniversary might still be young, but you get the idea. So the audience for it is just absolutely massive. And they didn't back themselves into a corner by mentioning holidays. They went with the design that's evergreen. And then the target audience for this is huge. And we talked about that on the first episode, the importance of targeting population percentages as opposed to small niches. And again, that's what we're reaching here. Like this, with your Facebook ad targeting or your ad targeting wherever, the audiences are so broad that you can just almost target everyone, and you will be able to run ads to this profitably if the product is good and people like it. So
yeah, I think what Devin just said there is super valuable. And one point I'm going to reiterate is what he was saying there is truly understanding the potential of the product, of who will own it, who's going to be what we call the end user, right? If you're selling jewelry, you sell it to someone for the end user to end up wearing, right? So like to my wife, I sell it to the husband to buy for the wife, right? So what he was saying there is, if you truly understand this product, not only could you could just target, this is where it gets really, really fun with products like this, and we can go over a couple examples, but you could target married people and then have an ad that speaks directly to married people. Then you get, 60, 70 million people in the United States. Then you can target broad and say, you know, does someone in your life have some special occasion coming up, right? A wedding anniversary coming up. And they're like, well, how do you know that person, you're just playing the odds. I know about 3 people that have a wedding anniversary coming up. By the way, it's always all over Facebook and stuff like that too, right? So like you're selling it on Facebook and then oh shit, my sister-in-law's anniversary is coming up. I better, I better buy something for him. It'd be great. So like you can, it plays into where you're selling it. And then the possibilities on something like this are truly special and truly amazing. And then one thing I want to make sure to note, people, I don't personally, unless I have a gangbuster, really hot product, I will have my core ads never have like specific language in it, because what I sell on Mother's Day is going to be the
like
same
Mother's
thing I
Day
sell
and stuff.
on. Yeah, it doesn't say like the core ads, like the base of my ads don't have necessarily meaning like this amount of spend. Say we have $5,000 a day of core for this brand, right? And something usually arises around an occasion like Mother's Day. Like we have a really, really, really hot necklace going right now. And the core ads for that product are just performing better at this time. They're evergreen, but it's the same necklace that'll sell now that it will during Christmas. It's just the buyers buying it because I'm manipulating the site. That's what most people overlook is it's hard to, I don't want to turn off. I don't want to have ads that go like this and then they die. I can easily keep those running if they look like this. And then on the site, when they get there, I'd be like, wouldn't this make a great Mother's Day gift? And then boom, and all of a sudden it's a Mother's Day item, right?
Yeah.
And that's fully in your control, where the ads, you inserting and removing an ad from the algorithm, you have no idea what's going to happen when you take it out and put it back in or whatever like that, right? Not in your control, right? So do what you can control, and that's manipulating your site. And I'm guessing they probably did that here. If not, they probably would be performing even better if they did.
I swear I saw it somewhere when I was looking. I picked this product a few days ago. So I guess they didn't, but I swear I saw the Mother's Day thing somewhere.
And maybe they had it on there and maybe they can't meet delivery anymore too. So yeah.
That makes sense. So yeah, I love all that. And I want to add just one more thing where Matt was saying, play the odds, just by targeting really broad. You guys were really lucky to live in a time where we're not even really playing the odds, because Facebook at its core, it's really like a data collection website. They're just here to learn as much as possible about us, the end user, so they can make as much money as possible off of us. So when you're sharing things on Facebook, it's like, cool, you're sharing it with your friends, but you're also sharing it with a company whose sole goal is to sell you as much stuff as possible. And they use all that data about you to figure out what to sell you. And that's how they know what ads to sell you. So when you have these kinds of products, right, Facebook uses AI to kind of analyze your ad and analyze the image and any text in the image for your product or your videos, right? And then with that, they're like, okay, so we can tell just by, with our little AI that this is a kind of product that these type of people would buy, because we've seen them click on ads like this before. And then we got Facebook pixel data that said that they bought it. So I'm going to show it to those kinds of people. So when you're doing broad targeting, it makes it seem like, oh no, you're targeting everyone. But what you're really doing is you're letting Facebook go out there from that huge pool of everyone and still serve it to the people who are most likely to buy it. So it's not like you're just targeting, anyone willy-nilly. No, it's still putting it in front of people who are likely to buy, especially if you own a store that's already got a ton of conversion data, like you've already made a lot of purchases. The pixel remembers all that. It remembers who your customer is, and it serves your ads to the right people. So you have to put your faith in our AI overlords to get the job done.
Machine learning is,
and you also have to be
insanely powerful.
You got to be nice to the AI, because it's going to come get us one day. But yeah. I mean, this one right here is just like really popping off. I mean, we got, you can check out the reactions here. 106,000 likes, 32,000 hearts, 2.3 thousand cares, and only 50 laughs. Not very funny, but yeah, in a couple months. So that's quite a bit. And again, like we discussed in the first episode, it can be really easy to fake that kind of data. You just target India, right? But if we look here, everyone here is American. So, real data, real people, real purchases, and
those are the best.
Sweet comments.
That was the best. That was an amazing. You want to know what makes a killer product? I don't know where that went.
Right here.
Boom. If you can get people to write stuff like that, oh my God. Let me look at the engagement, but like 14 replies, just positivity coming in. In that weird, right? In the world of social media, having some real positive behavior coming in, being a story, and it sparked that. The only reason they wrote that is it sparked so much emotion in them about, they read that and they're like, oh my God, I'm thinking of my own. And then boom, they put that kind of stuff out there, and it draws all this other engagement, this love. People are seeing it. Facebook absolutely loves it. You want to talk about machine learning? It's just going to be throwing that information in there. Who's responding to that? Who was likely to respond to it? And it keeps funneling it down.
Yeah. And I mean, there's probably a lot of comments like that too. I haven't sorted by newest, but if we go to most relevant, well,
I don't know what relevant.
My husband bought this for me.
Their definition of relevant is ever changing. So,
oh, look at this.
woo.
Yeah, like another one. Thank the Lord for giving me this woman to grow old with. As a 19-year-old, I was able to spend 54 years with my precious wife. 704 reactions. I mean,
gosh,
look, even the reactions have tons of reactions. So it's clear, like, guys, remember, like, when we create products like this, a lot of people think, because Matt and I talk about how the whole job of a business is really to provide value and solve people's problems, right? So a lot of people think, oh, well, when I'm selling jewelry, when I'm selling t-shirts, when I'm selling wall art like this, how am I solving problems? Dude, it's obvious. All you have to do is look at the comments, and it's obvious. There are people out there who have spent their entire lives with someone. They love them, an amount that is almost impossible for them to express. And guess what? You give them this wall art, boom, they can express it. And you just created an amazing moment for a husband and a wife, because the husband was able to give it to the wife, or the wife was able to get to the husband. Like, they cry, they have an amazing time. They go have some nice old people sex. And, it's a magical moment, and that's what you're doing. You're not just out here selling stuff to make people money. And obviously that's the goal, right? Like, we want to get paid, but we get paid by creating these beautiful moments for people. And if you decide, hey, I'm going to put these beautiful moments first, and I'm not going to focus on getting paid, I'm going to focus on invoking emotion in other people and creating these experiences for them, guess what? You get paid a ton, because then your products sell. They sell like crazy. They go viral. They get shared. People tell their friends about it. People come over to the house and they're like, wow, this wall art's amazing. Where'd you get it? They tell them. You might not think it's true, but Matt's store that went from 3 million to 20 million in a year, I mean, that's exactly what happened. The designs fit the target audience perfectly. We would literally see people out wearing it everywhere, like where Matt lives. Then he'd fly down here. We'd see people wearing it up and down the streets here. I'd be like, yo, I knew where they got the shirt. I'd be like, hey, I love your shirt. Where'd you get it? And they would be so pumped about it. They would tell me about how they love this store, where they got it from, and how they bought a bunch from them. One of the guys had the sickest Mustang too, like a nice, like 60s Mustang.
Nice.
Dude, it was so cool. But that's the point, right? Is that's what we're doing. You are providing value. You are helping people solve their problems. And when you view your business or your product creation in that lens, instead of saying, how can I make a design that makes me money? Say, how can I make a design that makes people happy or creates this feeling, or, whatever, right? That's when the money comes. All right. You're just looking at it out of order. That's all. But all right, we can take a look at the store.
If you cannot, if you cannot
send you that image.
Oh yeah. If you cannot look at the product that you created and say, this is how I know what problem this is, and this is how it solves it. If you can't do that, you need to work harder on your product. Don't even launch, because ultimately, like with jewelry, what's the problem that you solve with jewelry? Especially if you sell to guys, we're not really good with our words. As much as I'm up here talking, I feel like I'm fairly creative. I create stuff for a living, essentially, right? But like telling my wife how much I love her, like, you still buy cards and have message cards, and that's what it is. And an expression, jewelry is an expression that she carries with her and wears around, right? That's what jewelry is. It's showing the rest of the world, essentially. It's an intimate moment that turns into a symbol for the rest of the world of, this is our relationship. Now you can say, oh, value or whatever, but that's the truth of the reality, right? Now this is the 100%. Exact, that's what jewelry and home decor are almost identical in this instance, because it's intimate moment stuff. Apparel, if you want to sell a lot of shirts, make a shirt that everybody is bold enough to say, this is me, to the rest of the world. Jewelry under, it's on my hand, my hand's not in, like, I'm not like walking around like that with a hand, right? or it's under a shirt, right? You're wearing like a cross or something like that. Jewelry is an intimate moment. Home decor. People have to come into your house. That's an intimate, you know, you only few people come into your house. And then you express this. It's a daily reminder to husband and wife expressing their loves. And if the husband or wife gives it to the wife, or the wife gives it to the husband, it's solving the problem of, I really just want to tell you how much I love you. And it's been great to have this whole entire life with you. And here is a literal symbol of our love for each other. That's a problem, if you didn't know, that needs solving. And that's what most of like this is, right? Like I got my daughters and my wife right here. I got my wife right there. You know, I got Scup over here. Like I got all this different stuff it's a symbol of remembering like what I'm doing and how I'm doing. If you sell that, by the way, nobody else sells that. Only few people sell that. So you want to remove yourself from the competition, sell what we're talking about here, right? You won't even compete with the majority of the people out there, competition out there, because they will produce crappy designs to try to make money, and you create intimate moments that will have money as a byproduct of it. So
just think of last week's episode, the short-term thinking versus long-term thinking, right? They were trying to those little marketing gimmicks on last week's episode versus long-term thinking and customer relationship. And make no mistake, guys, this is a problem that people need solved all the time. Okay. People need to express their love all the time. You don't just tell your wife you love her once. You don't just buy her flowers once and then you're like, oh, I'm good. I bought it. Babe, I bought you flowers 20, like the guy counts it down to the day, 27 years ago, 53 weeks, 13 days and 12 hours ago. I bought you flowers. And now you're here bitching, saying I never buy you flowers, right? No, you have to, people buy products like this all the time. And if you provide a design that creates an amazing experience, the husband or the wife, whoever, they'll remember that. They'll come back and buy from you more. And just really good point. A lot of people who sell Shine On products might be looking for items to cross sell. There you go. Perfect.
Yep.
All right.
Very cool.
Real quick, any closing thoughts on this ad, Matt, that you any notes that you have on it before we go to the store?
Nope.
All right. So let's check out the store. My first impression was like, wow, they're selling it way too cheap.
So there's got to be something here with that. Is it like unwrapped or something like that?
I believe it's canvas. I don't know. Yeah, it's unframed. That's why. Okay.
Yeah, the framing.
That kind of sucks.
Shipping and So a frame, if you can do it, is great. Certainly don't present it to people as framed if it's not. Just
like
a heads
this.
up.
Get a lot of chargebacks.
Oh yeah. Yeah. If it's confusing, you never want to confuse people, right? You already created this intimate moment. Don't ruin it when they get it there, right? That's the number one, and intimate meaning like even problem solving, right? So like think of drop shipping widgets. Like you're like, oh my God, I can't believe they figured out how to make eggs that easy or whatever, like on whatever drop shipping, you're always drop shipping widgets. Like, and sometimes you're like, oh my God, how did I not think of that? Right. And that great problem. That's if you can make a person do that, that's what an infomercial essentially is, by the way. Like somebody finally figured it out. Order comes in, it breaks in like the first 2 seconds. I'm never going back to that store ever again. Right. And the same thing will happen if like, I mean, here's the thing too, right? Canvas proportions, right? Like 34 by 22 inches. Is that what 34 by 22 inches is? I don't know, because that looks huge. That looks like a big 70-inch TV, right? To me.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. So you got to be careful with that too, because the refunds will smack you all over the place. And again, you want this person coming back for the next intimate moment, or you want the person coming back. You made them really happy about their relationship, especially if you get grandma and grandpa. Well, this is what my daughter's grandma, my mother-in-law does all the time. She got something that she really loves, then boom, it goes to each one of the kids, my wife and my brother-in-law, right? And so that's one person who's super happy into 2 more purchases. That's a winning strategy. So you got to make sure everything's congruent. Again, long-term thinking versus short-term thinking. Oh, there you go. Oh, that's so nice. So let's see here.
Store's pretty straightforward. They
Otherwise,
have all their customizations.
you guys know I'm not, if you've watched up to this point, I'm not a huge fan of the compare at price. Be confident in your own product, be confident in the price of your product, and only give discounts for a value exchange. I only give a discount for an email because that email is going to be super profitable for me going in the future, right? As I work on lifetime value. So I'm not a huge fan. I'm really not a fan of saying like $60. Whose is that? You've never sold it for that price and you're comparing it to who?
Yeah.
It's like, that doesn't work like that. I'm sorry. So, and by the way, if I'm selling unique items, well-made unique items, I have no competition, right? I'm not comparing myself to anybody. So, so just a little food for thought. I'm not a huge fan of the, like scroll down again, like the Woo Hops appears. I'm not a huge fan of that.
This.
It's like it looks like an announcement bar, but that's your actual header.
Yeah.
Also red is not a necessarily great color. And then you got pink out of nowhere and you can't read that gray. So
there's no cross sells, upsells, downsells or anything over here. Probably want to have it. The chances are that they have more products like this, and
the contrast of colors, man.
So it looks like that's their best seller.
I can't even read, like, guys, like I'm a good bar because my vision's going to the shit. So like, if I can't read stuff, like you need to change it up, right? So like the black or gray on red at the top, I can't see the search.
Yeah, this is
the
very
card
difficult.
Yeah,
especially
it's
when
not
you
good.
hover.
Red
Search, guys, should be
red means
big
stop,
too.
guys. Red means stop. Like unless you are a brand that isn't like Coca-Cola that has embraced red and have literally like if somebody sees Coca-Cola red, a Coca-Cola sign with red in it, the meaning of Coca-Cola transcends the color itself. But you are not a brand at this level yet, so you cannot do that, right? I'm not a huge fan of red, right? It makes sense for sales, but again, the sale is bigger than your brand. For your brand, a red is, I'm not a huge fan. Softer colors.
And I totally agree. I think the whole menu / header here could use a lot of work. We're a big fan of like mega menus, drop downs, easy navigation.
Yep.
And the issue with this is like gift for couple lovers is there's probably a bunch of different kinds of products in here. And it'd be better to have them organized a little bit more appropriately, to where you don't have like, pillows with the
personalization game on lock, man. Everything's personalized.
Oh yeah, it is, huh?
Good for you good for you for getting this locked in. And here's the thing too, right? They're going to be like, there's an immense possibility with like that kind of engagement. This person's made millions of dollars, right? And conversion rate optimization, something I'm like actively studying at the moment, is
always working on.
Yeah, I used to pay a lot of people. I just used to hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? I just pay people, but I'm like actively personally now studying instead of just simply outsourcing it. But one thing I'm realizing is it's about anything in business, right? Like you could have a 2% conversion rate on this, right? Because the product is so good, you're still converting 2%, which would probably be pretty good on it's only, I was gonna say a normal canvas print for like $100 or whatever, but this is like, should probably be higher, 3%, 4% or whatever. But here's the thing. What if it would be, if you had all the right mechanisms in place and all the things in place, you could have 5%, 6%, whatever. What could it be? So it's not so much about you are making money, it's how much are you leaving on the table by not implementing good strategies so the sales that you're not making as much as the sales that you're making. So it's like the two sides of the coin thing that most people only think like, well, I'm making money, so shouldn't change anything. It's like, no, you should look at it and see how you can improve and constantly try to improve, which is a core value of Scud too, by the way. Yeah. So like so I just want to make sure that gets out of the way, because the guy that owns the store could be like, hey, I made $40,000 yesterday off that thing. It'd be like, well, dude, you might have been able to make 50,000 or 60,000 if you would have upped your conversion rate. So how's that make you feel? Right? It doesn't make you feel good. Trust me from a guy I know personally has left a lot of money on the table by not hitting these things earlier. So it comes from a position of, I did it wrong. So listen, I should, over $50 million worth of sales. I probably have left a lot of money on the table. Right. So
this guy, he's lost at least 10 million. All right. At least, I don't know. I'm just throwing a number out there. I don't know. But like, yeah, I mean,
if it's a million, I'd still care, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, because it's all profit, almost all profit at that point. You just have your cost of goods. So like 2% conversion rate, which is probably a little bit above average. It's around that average rate. I mean, that means 98% of people still didn't buy, right? And they're probably going to buy. They're just not going to buy from you. So why is that? What could you have done differently? So definitely that. I think some small things here. I kind of want to like get towards wrapping it up. Guys, my wife is sick. I gotta go take care of her. But this whole thing again, like if we were just to go look at, let's say pause, you can just see the difference. Like search accounts for a lot of sales. Like people misunderstand, like they think that search is just an annoyance or one of those things. It's like a check off the check boxes for your store. No, on all of our stores, search is an integral part, and we always display it front, center, and massive, right? Now, the way that the menu is done on our stores compared to this is not, so they have all these occasions or recipients, right? And that should not be like your main menu items. It's okay to have shop for, and then you have something like that, right? But you really want it to be like, wall art, necklaces like they had over there, instead of that. I mean, these are like collections, and they could have just done a collection thing like this here. And then obviously it's just hard to read. The color layout here is,
it hurts me. It hurts me a lot.
Just go white. Honestly, like always, whenever in doubt, just go white. Okay. Don't try these fancy colors unless you're like a massive brand and that's like part of your thing. But until you get to that, I mean, I guess you have to get there somehow, whatever. At least redo the menu items. And I would also put this below the logo. And the whole point of having something like this, by the way, a sticky bar, is so the menu stays there with it, but your menu isn't even here.
Yep.
So that's an issue. And then the search is collapsed. I would uncollapse the search, and I would also make it there so it doesn't redirect me to a search page when I click it. It should just pull it out. But honestly, the search should just be statically here anyways. So, okay.
Yeah.
What's up, Matt? What were we saying?
I was just you made a good point. It was, look, if red's your thing and you got this color and you really need to go with it, it's great. Cool. It's one of those things. It's not these things. Some of the things that we mentioned about conversion rate optimization pieces of it are not make or break. Well, it depends, but like, I guess it's not going to get not going to get the car running, right? You need the product to get the car going 60. This is about how you get it to 61, 62, whatever, like that. And then over time, how much further, if you got one car going 60, one car going 65, doesn't look like a lot right now, but let's go a month down the road and see how far apart these things are, right? It's gonna be far apart. So that's a conversion rate optimization piece. So the red is, I certainly would make it easy, especially since you're probably targeting older people with this.
The text white.
I can't, I'm not even 40 yet, and it's because I stare at these screens all day, but like my vision, I can't see this shit. Like nobody, you guys gotta understand who's coming in, who's buying, and if it's older people, 18 font minimum and a strong contrast, guys. That's 100%. It's not even an argument. It's not, it's like, it's just usability of the site. It's almost like not having you gotta have, I don't know what this looks like on mobile, but like you gotta have easy, you don't make it actively harder for the individual to see. Like I can't even see the menu, dude. Like on my phone, I'm like, if I'm squinting on my phone and somebody's gonna be like, well, Matt, you need some freaking, I know, I understand, right? I'm gonna go get some glasses, but the average person has bad vision too. So it's like, I'm just the average person. So everybody needs glasses, but unfortunately we all don't have it, right? And you're gonna get my dad that's gonna be like, yeah, and he's gone, right? If he does a squint, he's gone. So I just want to get that out there for you. Cool.
Yeah. I think a good way that everyone can view conversion rate optimization is this. So, maybe you've heard the term death by a thousand cuts. And when you
Mhm.
look at your finances, it's usually not like the big purchases that all your money goes to. It's usually tons of really small, like $3, $4, $10 things. It's never the big purchases, it's always the really small ones. And you can use that in the opposite for your store, right? It it's just small incremental increases that lead to huge results. You get a 1% increase there, a 2% increase there. And I'm not talking about like a 1% increase total. I'm talking about a 1% increase on your current conversion rate, right? Or a 5% increase. So if you're converting at 3%, that would be like 0.15% increase in conversion rate. But when you
Right.
do that 20 times, it really adds up. And when you're making millions of dollars, that is a lot of extra money. You're not going to see like huge improvements from split testing when you're at a really low amount of sales. Should you still want better conversions? Probably, but the product, like Matt said, will do most of the heavy lifting. So once you have a product that's selling, if the product's really good, the conversion rate optimization won't necessarily stop people from buying. But once you have something that's working really well, then you can start with those improvements and you will really see sales go up. Now, something like this could actually be a big detriment. Like if your add to cart buttons were really hard to read or something, right? That could
Yeah.
be deadly CRO where it's like, holy, this is really killing your conversion rate and cutting it by like 80%, So definitely things to look out for. All right, Matt, you ready to get into the ads
Yeah.
portion, my dude? All
Let's do
right,
it.
I'm
I
going to
got it
pass
all
it to
queued up over
you.
here.
Nothing.
Go.
I didn't do anything. All right, guys. Now we will see Matt in the wild making an ad for
Can you see
this
can you see
wall
the ad
art.
over here?
Yep.
Sweet.
Yes, sir.
All right. So we're going to do situational like I talked about, right? Because let me make sure I get this thing up on the other screen so I can make sure I know what the heck I'm talking about. All right. So we got the situational ad building here. The core audience of this, obviously, if you understand the product itself and you understand who, you got to walk through this exercise, right? I do it every single time I have a product. And the more, this is one of those things I say, it's like chess passes. Don't get cocky. If you've been selling a couple of things and you just overlook this, you just chess passes of who is going to buy this, right? To truly understand it. And it's, some people will be like, oh, in a relationship. No, I think we talked about it maybe on the last one or the first one where we were talking about the word I love you. That brings a situation to this, right? Like it's probably not going to be in a relationship because you're just now dating, you're in a relationship, but you're not using the word I love you. So like who would be the prime suspect of this? It's going to be obviously, go down here real quick. It's going this is the old one from last week. I just reused it. So married. Right? So married, when we get to the end of our lives together, why is it specifically married? Well, they got the date. The date is likely when it started, right? The marriage date, right? So you got husband, wife, date, right? Or maybe wife, husband, if you want to be a good husband. So then, as Devin said, does the product itself cater to anybody specifically? Like, does it say to my husband or to my wife? It doesn't, right? And there's no like indication from this product that I would sell it to one gender or the other specifically. I would go, both, and then make sure that my language on the ad level reflects that, right? So it's a one constant thought between the product itself and the ad itself and the targeting in the middle, right? So we got all 25 and above married. Now 25 and you're married, it's still, even a 25-year-old would buy it because I think my wife would freaking love this thing. So like, I think it's a really good product. I would be upset based off of this. I'm just going to give you a heads up. The more I look at it, if this isn't framed and you keep showing it as framed, if you better have a framing option in there, at least. I don't think we even saw one.
That's what I was thinking. Just have it as an upsell.
It's an easy upsell, right? there are plenty of suppliers that can ship it, and you just got to charge a customer for the shipping. And most people know that charging or shipping something like that, I think cost me like $30 to ship. You can't see it, I'm pointing to it, but like, yeah, it was expensive. So yeah, United States, something like a canvas print, shipping internationally is a freaking nightmare. So stick in the United States, there's more than enough people. Look, we're looking at 50 million to 60 million people here that are married, more than enough customers. You got the daily budget. Normally, this is where I want to make sure I address this. Normally, if this was a framed canvas print, I think like most of them starting at like 75, $100 or something like that. But this thing's only 35 bucks, I think it was. So
yeah,
I like to have a proportional amount, right? I like to spend personally, I like to spend about 2x the product price before I start making decisions, maybe even a little bit more. However, I have a little bit more tolerance and a little bit more budget than the average person. So what I recommend into like incubator is at least spending the price of the product. So if you have a $100 canvas print, to get some real data, a general good rule is to spend $100. So when you're playing in a big space with big prices, you got to know it takes a lot of money to figure out if you're going to make it or not, right? So for this, you could do a $25 a day budget, because on the other side of it, it's only a $35 product. So I just wanted to make sure you get that out there. But full canvas print, probably going to have to, up it a little bit.
I think that was an important piece for newer people who don't understand that too, is if you want to sell higher priced products, you need to be prepared to spend more on ads, because the cost per acquisition goes up as the price goes up, because it's just more difficult to make a sale on higher priced products. So
yeah, it's like if I'm going to sell a house, if I'm going to do a $5 a day ad, like somebody taught me, off of no, we're not doing that. If you have the expectations, selling big things cost, big amounts of money, which is great because
if
the
any guru tells you $5 a day ads will sell $1,000 products, just run away.
Yeah, just even the anybody that's telling you to run a $5 a day on any product. But this is a good overarching targeting, 25, because we know will anybody in this age range, this is the exercise. Will a 25-year-old married couple buy this for an occasion? Yes. Will a 65-year-old married couple buy this? Right? They're not at the end of the road. My dad's out there kicking it with my mom, going to concerts and stuff like that. They're in their early 70s, having a great time. They're going to go they're going to Orlando here soon. They're going to go to Orlando because they like the they like the resort that's down there, and get out of the crappy weather we have in St. Louis. They're kicking it. They're having a great time, right? Perfect product. No, my mother-in-law would buy this. Walk through those scenarios, right? It's anecdotal the scenarios I'm giving you, but that's the overarching. Would a 65 or 65-year-old just completely not happy with? No, it's not. There's a divorce rate in this country. Sure. Happy people though. Target those happy people. So in the next instance, you could get broad with this by just simply going click.
Someone's going to ask us now, how do we target the happy people?
Just understand that engagement is how you target the happy people. The product itself,
Facebook's algorithm will do it for you.
Yes, the product itself is good. It sparks emotion. Mostly going to be happy emotion, the happy face, the love face, the like face. Like that's what you're creating emotion on the social media platform with those things. Facebook has data points on you of you doing that for other stuff. It's not the first time you click the like button on something, right? Or the love button on something. I did it on a guy's photo the other day, right? Like it was about his dog. I was like, love it, doggies, cool. And so Facebook's gonna be like, oh, here's a dog thing for you, right? That's how it does, because it knows what you're doing. Now, broad here is going to do a couple of things. The married people are obviously going to be in this circle as well, right? The circle is just greatly expanded. It's now 200 million people. So, but our language on the ad is what's going to have to be influenced here, right? Because we have to steer it and create the situations that Devin was talking about, because it is up to us to ensure that it clicks in people's minds, right? They're going to see this. What if I'm not married and I see this? That's another chess pass, right? Because that person's in here, a single person. How does a single person care about this? That's why you have to go to the ad and say, they're going to look at it. They're going to, oh, that's nice. But how that's nice doesn't put money in your pocket. It has to be, oh, that makes sense. And some of these people are going to have their mom and dad's anniversary, their loved one's anniversary, or birthday, or some kind of a situation that they could potentially buy this, or a wedding that they're going to, right? Or like, that's the stuff that ends up converting this from a not good ad into it. But also, right, the married couple could still end up buying it too, because they're in here as well, right? So just a little note there. Is that 100% clear, Devin, or you want me to elaborate on anything else?
I think it's good, man.
Cool. So you're
Good
drawing we talk about them all the time, but the group that Devin and I are in, RSA, we're almost making the decision for them, right? Because we're putting all the pieces together out there for them to draw that make that conclusion, I should say, make that decision. If it's not 100%, like think of your own situation where you're thinking of something and then someone's like, oh, it's for that. And you're like, oh, I have that all the time. Like sometimes we're busy a lot and we don't see the full picture. Your job as a marketer is to walk them through the full picture, right? And complete the end result and almost make the decision for them, right? So let's go down to the ad level. Devin had tossed this to me. I was like, people think I had this product before. No, I was very reactionary when he tossed it over after I saw it. Thank you very much.
We don't go through Matt doesn't know about the products first. I forgot to mention that at the beginning.
I don't know about it. It was very reactionary. Then he sends it to me, and while he's talking, I load it up here. Just there you go. So there we go. So the main part of this, right, is let's start with the married couple. So if I was going to sell this to a married couple, a reiteration of a point before, I've said this a few times, when we get to the end. So the reason Mr. What was it called? Mr. WooHops owner, the reason you need to have your search bar more prominent and available for people is because if people come back to your store, right, and they want to find that product, or they want to find you on Google, they want to find you on Amazon potentially, they need to be able to remember what you titled this thing, and they need to be able to find it. So that's why that search and the navigation is super important. But that's also why I reiterate the title of the product in the headline, because I want people to have that before having to get to the product page itself, right? Because people leave it up. They remember, people get there all sorts of different ways, right? So don't make it harder on them, make it easier on them, right? That's one of the things. So I'm going to say when we get to the end, because that's also kind of leads into the product, pre-frames the product a little bit. And then this is a married couple, so all right, let's do it. Connect, incentivize, whoop, call to action, right? So connect, incentivize, call to action. I got to remember where I'm at. I'm trying to help you guys educate a little bit. So the call to action, I'm going to remove that because I want to put it down here and say shop now. Okay. And so connection point. I really wish this was framed, but so connect.
We could always pretend that it is.
Yeah, that's true.
I also think that they could zoom in on the image a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I think that
kind of hard to read.
It is somewhat hard to read. That's a good point. I probably could have edited a little bit, and the guy himself could have edited it because I wouldn't want to crop out the custom name and date. It will be a little bit more clear on desktop. Hell, maybe you're only selling it on desktop. I don't know. They have to walk it through a little bit, but on your phone, that might be a little bit tough. Let's see. I'm literally doing this off the top of my head, so let me try to formulate this. It might look a little jumbled.
The master is at work, ladies and gentlemen. Everyone quiet down. Shh. Bro, it's so crazy. You're literally typing like exactly what I had in my head.
Yeah.
Great minds, man.
I'm trying to figure out how do what's the problem and how do I solve it for them, right? I'm trying to connect those dots in my brain as I'm going here. Your journey together is special. That is pretty huge.
Boom.
Yeah, I think I want to do something like where it all began and what's mattered along the way. I think that might be too many words though. So let me just sit on that one here for a little bit. Now, what matters, because I think I'm going to pretend this is framed and it's higher dollar value. So when you start selling higher dollar value, we talked about like lower stuff. On the higher dollar value stuff, I do recommend that you go a little bit beyond the simple CIC formula and you kind of extrapolate on it a little bit to make sure that you overcome some objections before even approaching the site. So ships, I don't want this thing taking forever. Ships fast from the United States. I've personally almost purchased canvases from international sellers before, and it was like $100 to ship this. I'm like, nope, see you later. So like, it's just a wasted click for you.
Hells no.
Yeah. So what, ships fast from the United States means the price of the shipping is going to be somewhat reasonable, and also it's going to get here fast. By the way, it might be for an occasion. So when you're selling for occasions, reminding them that it ships fast is important, right? Because if Mother's Day is in 2 weeks, I don't need your shit taking me 4 weeks. You've just now created a problem for me versus a solution for me. So ships fast from the United States. Whatever, 365-day guarantee, right? What if the print's wrong? What if the quality's wrong? What if the thing falls apart when the frame's crap? Boom, because especially if I'm spending like $100+, some canvases go up to like 350, 500, 365-day guarantee.
Yeah, on that note too, a lot of people might be thinking, well, I don't want to offer a guarantee. Remember, the job isn't to make you money. Our first job is to create happy customer experiences. When you do that, the money follows. By having a guarantee, you will make more money because you will make more sales than you would have if you didn't have the guarantee. Will refunds go up? Maybe. There's no guarantee that refunds will even go up. But if they do go up, the whole idea is that you're now making more sales than you were before. So you are still net positive. Just keep that in mind. And it's also just good business practice if you want long-term customers.
Okay.
I think that one thing would be let us create a custom canvas just for you.
Yeah. Let us
Could be
create
a little more insightful.
Yeah, that's good. Cool. And I would throw go throw a bunch of emojis in here too, but this is pretty good. So your journey together is
eggplant.
Right, we're doing a and there's a reason I'm using the word custom here, because really it's personalization, but the reason I'm using custom is because the image says custom. So I'm not going to custom and personalization. What's that? I don't know. I'm confused. Now I'm gone. Right. So let us create a custom canvas. So your journey together is special, right? Pre-framing the entire image that comes following it. Well, how does this talk about that? And you're right. You just got like a little yes in their head too, right? You would hope. So let us create if not, then you're probably not going to buy your canvas anyway. Let us create a custom canvas just for you to remember where it all began, because that's where the story and that's what the personalization is. And that's the road that you're taking them down when they read this kind of canvas. Input your names and wedding date free. If you're not charging, some people charge for personalization. So I'm just creating that scenario to reassure the person that's reading this that they don't have to pay extra for that, right? And it's a little bit of a value that you can do and add there. Ships fast from the United States, 365-day guarantee. Most people never take you up on it. It's more people will buy because of it than will ever take you up on that return. So that's the easiest math equation in the entire world. More people will buy because it's there than will ever take up on that. You can't quantify that other than just big data and macro data, and everybody's, any kind of big corporation will tell you that, right? And then 100% customizable just for you. Just reiterating that point of this is unique. It's going to be just for you, and it's about you and your special someone in that moment. And then shop now is fine, or you could just cap it there too, right? So, or you could reiterate a little bit of the top in some way. So I think this is pretty good, especially off the top of the cuff. This is something you're going to want to spend a little bit of time on understanding what works and testing some things. I think some longer form copy probably would help in this scenario. Just this is what longer form would be versus the 3 lines of CIC. This is still, by the way, CIC. It's just when we're selling higher dollar value stuff, we got to tell you about how to do this on higher dollar value stuff. My expensive jewelry that I sell some jewelry at $100+ price point, and I always use longer form for it. It's just what do I do and what am I teaching you guys? I teach you on what you're doing and how to apply what I do to your level here. So reiteration of the product, and then the description here could be a reiteration of the biggest thing. I think the biggest thing here is, I mean, you could, one of the incentives is a discount for sure, but ships fast. For me, if I ever buy stuff like this that's intimate and it's for my wife, you better ship that shit fast, because I've had some stuff in like Christmas, or I think something for my daughters. It was customized for my daughters, and it was for Christmas. Now they're too young to care, but I still cared, right? I'm not going to shop from that company again because I had this customizable thing for my daughters, and it didn't come for Christmas morning. It came 2 weeks after that. That's not cool, man. It was, I don't like that. So you have to stick with your guarantee, and you have to stick with fast shipping and make sure that it's reassured there, or people just won't buy. And that's never it's not gonna work out for anybody. So
we got to beat it into people's heads. Like we've been saying this over and over, and it's probably going to be a theme of the Product of the Week Club forever, but customer experience is everything. Okay. I don't know about you, but when I work on a business, I want it to last. I want it to make money for a long time, and I want customers to come back. That is how you get extremely rich.
Yep.
I know that's what most people care about, is how can I get rich? By just creating good experiences. Then customers will come back. They'll tell their friends. Those friends that they tell will tell their friends. Now it's 2, 4, 8, 16, 32 people, 64 people, because word of mouth is the most powerful form of marketing. And that only happens if you create good experiences. That's why dropshipping from China is stupid, by the way, because it's not a long-term business model. It's the same thing with your shipping. Always work with good suppliers. At least try your best to. Some products are hard to find and can only be sourced by certain people. And when things like that happen, again, it's important to be upfront with the shipping times in that case. That's all you have to do.
Cool, man.
All right. We good?
I think so. I love Canvas Print. I kind of want
to.
I gotta go.
Oh yeah.
Find myself a customizable Canvas Print supplier and knock
all those cow ones like Travis Patel did in like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thanks everybody for watching. This is the Product of the Week Club. Make sure you sign up for the club below. There's either a link or a form where you can sign up. We do these every single week. We release them on Monday. So make sure you're signed up to get notified. We'll notify you via text and via email. So name, phone number, email, boom, sign up. And if you want us to work like this with you on your business, where we actually help break down your business and help you build a 6, 7, or even 8-figure store and work with you personally on it, we do have a coaching program, not a coaching program, a coaching program. It's called the SCUP Incubator. If you're interested in that, just go to skupscup.net/call, book a call with our team. It's free to book a call, and we will see if we can help you get from where you are now to where you want to be in your business in record time. So guys, thank you for watching. Matt, thank you for your time as always, bro. Fist bumping you. I don't know if you can see. Let's see. Stop share. Oh, stop sharing. There we go. Boom. Fist bump. Yeah, let's go. All right. See you, Matt.
See ya. Take care, everybody.
Bye, everyone.